Life can feel good or bad, not because of chance, not because of fate, but because of whose hands it is placed in. From a very early age, many of us learn to live according to expectations. Expectations we did not choose. Expectations that were handed to us quietly, through family, through school, through society. We are taught what a good life should look like, what success is supposed to feel like, what kind of pace is considered normal, and what kind of pause is considered failure. Without realizing it, we begin adjusting ourselves, not to what we truly need, but to what is rewarded, what is praised, what is approved. Over time, life slowly stops feeling like something we are living, and starts feeling like something we are managing. Managing impressions, managing responsibilities, managing standards, managing roles. And somewhere in that process, life becomes heavier, not because it is harder, but because it no longer belongs fully to us. There is a quiet difference between living a life and carrying one. When life is carried, it is measured constantly, against other people's expectations, against invisible benchmarks, against timelines that were never personal. Even moments of rest can begin to feel undeserved. Even joy can feel delayed, as if it must be earned first. At this stage, many people do not feel lost. They feel tired, a specific kind of tired, the kind that comes from living out of alignment. Not broken, not weak, just stretched too far, for too long. Eventually, something begins to settle, not as a crisis, but as a realization that the question is not whether life is good or bad, but who is holding the steering wheel. When life is shaped primarily by the expectations of others, it becomes unstable, because expectations change, people change, standards shift. But when life slowly returns into one's own hands, its weight begins to change. Not lighter, but steadier. This shift does not happen dramatically. There is no sudden transformation. There is no announcement. It happens quietly, through small decisions, through boundaries that are not explained, through pauses that are no longer defended. It begins when a person stops asking, what is acceptable, and starts noticing, what is sustainable. Not everything needs to be proven. Not every choice needs justification. Not every version of success needs to be pursued. As control slowly returns, life becomes less about performance, and more about presence, less about meeting standards, and more about maintaining balance. There is no rejection of responsibility here, only a replacement of it. Responsibility moves from pleasing systems to protecting one's own capacity, from surviving expectations to shaping a life that can actually be lived. This does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes honest. Honest about limits, honest about energy, honest about what truly matters. In that honesty, life finds its rhythm again. Not fast, not impressive, but real. And in that reality, life no longer needs to be constantly judged as good or bad, because it finally belongs to the one living it. At this moment, you are listening to
สถานีหยุดพักคลายเหนื่อย